our next video show with, let's say in the program of What's Your Job? Today, I'm here with my friend Petra, who is a child psychologist, which is a very special kind of job, we could say, because not everyone is that, educated to be able to do such a job. And I think Petra is a very interesting person also. She's very funny. I like her style. I like her sense of humor. And I'm looking forward to talking to her. So let's go. Could you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what your job is?
What is my job? So I'm a child psychologist, and I work at an education and psychological counseling. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of jobs. I have a child psychologist, and I'm a teacher of psychology at university as well, at the Faculty of Education. And I had a private practice in the past, but now I decided to interrupt this private practice. But maybe in the future I would like to continue with its activities.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, and I make diagnosis at educational and psychological counseling, because I do examinations there with children, and I make like a their diagnosis, like ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and for example learning disorders, mental disorders. And I do psychotherapy with children as well, and I communicate with parents, with children, with everyone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, super. And you also mentioned, and I didn't know that you are a teacher at university, which is interesting. So how does it go, or what do you teach the students?
No, I teach something like a developmental psychology there, but it's only a seminar for developmental psychology, and
Mm-hmm.
I teach communication in psychotherapy and crisis intervention there,
Mm-hmm.
and social psychology, and family psychology. Oh, how to describe it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I like this job because I like teaching. I think that mm, it's entertainment for me. I like it. And I think that it's my favorite part of my job, like to be a teacher of psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been teaching psychology for 3 years, I think. But
Mm.
from this year, I started officially there, like a official employee there.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I am official employee of university in
Mm-hmm.
Pilsen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. And so, how many students do you have altogether?
Together.
Mm.
I don't know, I really don't know, because many, I think maybe 300,
Mm-hmm.
300, maybe
Mm-hmm.
more. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Wow, nice, perfect. I have got a next question for you, which is how demanding is that to work with people's minds and souls?
Hmm. No, uh, I think that, in my opinion, many jobs is demanding, but psychology is maybe mentally demanding, because you gotta deal with problems with children and with their parents,
Mm,
and discuss something what is sometimes very deep. It's a deep talk, not something like a small talk. And I'm an extrovert, and I like people, I like children as as well, of course. But sometimes it's very mentally demanding to talk with them about, for example, I don't know, because they are anxious and they have depression, and the big problem is, for example, self-harming in this day and age.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, sometimes it could be very demanding, because topics these topics are very demanding, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I'm very grateful for this job because I like it. I couldn't, but I cannot imagine doing something different. I like my job, but
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, it's a very demanding, like mentally demanding, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you do, let's say, to relax yourself a little bit or to um, stop thinking about your job? Is there anything that helps you relax?
Mm. I think that I have a big advantage that I cannot, but I don't think about it when I have free time, when I'm at home, for example, with my husband, with my friends. I don't think about it much. But when when I am there, when I am in my private practice in my office,
Mm-hmm.
at my office,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I am, of course, I am sympathetic and. Uh, I think that it's like a very important to have a connection with them, like with children, and to know like their feelings. But it's very important to relax and to do something very different, like for example, to do something outside, like gardening, or
Mm-hmm.
uh, go outside, like with the dog, or. Uh, I don't know, for example, some sports, or I don't know. But yeah, this is. I think that this is very, very important, like to do something very different.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, it makes sense. Okay, perfect, good. Let's move on. My next question sounds: what do you like about your job?
Mm. No, maybe it's a variability of my job.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, because it's not necessary like to do only one thing. You can do, for example, research, like a science, and I. I got to do science because I'm at a doctoral study now, and I have to continue with studying English, not English, psychology, of course, at
Mm-hmm.
university, and it's necessary to do research. But for example, you can do psychotherapy, you can talk with children, you can do diagnosis, you can write an article or articles in general, books,
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's a viability. I like it.
Okay, and what do you like the most? Because these are very, let's say, different things or very various activities. So, what's your favorite one?
I don't know. I like everything,
Mm-hmm.
maybe except administration or something. Um, I like talking with children. I like do psychotherapy with them, because psychotherapy with children is not about talking, not only about talking. You can talk with adults, of course. It's normally and it's very common to talk with adults, but with children, you can use like a different
Mm-hmm.
approaches, like to play with them, like art therapy, or scent therapy with scent box, with small figures there. And yeah, it's a something between play and something between mm, game and maybe work. I don't know, it's a it's a connecting. And yeah, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I like do diagnosis,
Mm-hmm.
make diagnosis as well, because this is not so mentally demanding, and you can maybe rest. And but it's not so, mm, I don't know. I think that it's the best way is to combine everything together, like to do psychotherapy, to make diagnosis, and to teach psychology. I like to combine
Yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not able to to tell you what is the best. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah, the combination is always something enjoyable. So I definitely get it. Awesome.
Mm.
My next question is a bit different because this is there anything which you do not enjoy as far as your job is concerned? Something
Hmm.
negative?
Yeah. I was talking about my job and I said that I loved my job. It's true, it's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there is a part what is not so um, so um, fun. I don't know. I don't like, for example, administration because I talk with children. I might make diagnosis, but it's necessary to do something like to write children's reports,
Hmm.
and I don't like it. I don't like to write reports about them because it's a little bit boring for me. And but this is not the worst. The worst is administration. I don't like technique, and I am not knowledgeable about technique, not at all. I don't like it. I hate it. I don't like computers. I don't like Excel and Word and PowerPoint, and I don't like it. But I know that it's necessary to do it because we write researches about no, not researches. I write reports about children,
Mm-hmm.
and we send these reports to schools, and teacher. It's a report for example, for teachers, or for how to say this, mm, no, I don't know how to say, like a výchovný poradce, or
It's fine. Try to speak English, please. Thanks.
okay. Okay. uh it's a for pedagogical workers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the word. For pedagogical workers, for assistants for children, and they want to know how to work with children with disorders, like mental disorders, I don't know, for example, attending disorders and
Mm-hmm.
learning disorders. And yeah, I think that it's a very important, to take them our reports.
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
it's boring
It's
for me, but it's very important for them.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Yeah, they definitely must know. And I think your advice and also your diagnosis is very worthy. So it's good for them to have it. Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit now more about general maybe tips which you could give to our listeners. So my next question is, what should parents be careful about when it comes to mental health of their kids? What
Hmm.
would you say?
Mm. No, I think that there is like a mm, human boom of self-harming in this age now,
Mm-hmm.
and this is problem, like a self-harming. I think that it's a big problem, traumatic problem. For example, I think that maybe 30% of children mm, have experience with self-harming, and it's a terrible number, I think. And I know a lot of children with depression and anxiety. I think that the mental condition of children is terrible now,
Mm-hmm.
especially. And every year, the situation, as far as their mental condition, is worse and worse. I am definitely sure. I'm definitely sure that the situation, as far as self harming, depression, anxiety, was better 10 years ago, because I have been doing psychology for 10 years
Mm-hmm.
circa, and I can see different, very big different. And I don't know, I am I'm very disappointed, and I'm scared, because, for example, it's not only about self-harming, about depression, about anxiety, but it's about, for example, speech level, because I think that the speech level of children is worse and worse, because this is the part of my job as well. We test small children in the kindergarten, and we give them an advice, if it's if it's good idea to continue to elementary school, or to stay in the kindergarten. And I know, I can see that the speech level of these children is terrible, and worse
Mm-hmm.
and worse.
You mean that they can't speak, or they can't maybe express their feelings or some words, or what do you mean?
mm, they cannot speak, and they understand.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding is not so bad,
Mm-hmm.
but they cannot speak. This is the problem, and I think that the reason is that their parents don't have a time for them, and technique is problem, because it's like only they are very passive, because they listen very
Mm-hmm.
often, but it's not necessary for them to say something,
Yeah.
and this is the problem. And yeah, their speech level is terrible, and for example, to say r or sh, ch, this is problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about it with my colleagues, and their opinion is that the situation and their level, uh, this is like a dramatic change for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
because of, yeah, because of, as I said.
Because of the
uh,
technology. Hmm.
yeah.
It makes sense. Okay, but it's terrible. And so, is there any advice which you would give to parents? Let's say how to help these kids get better at speaking or expressing themselves?
Hmm. I think that it's a very important to be with, to be with them. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that this is not the best advice ever, but I think that the mostly parents don't have a time for their children, and I don't know, to be with them, to talk with them, and I think that it's a necessary, uh, like a to, how to say it, um, mm, to control, I could to control the time, uh, when children are at computer, for
Mm-hmm.
example, in computer, on computer.
Yeah, on. Mm-hmm.
On
It's on.
computer,
Mm-hmm.
okay, on computer, and yeah, and to talk with them, and to play games with them, and to do something what is very, like, very normal and natural. But I think that our lifestyle is very strange now, and parents don't have a time. And for example, I think that the big problem is like a social medias in general.
Mm-hmm.
Social medias, because, and internet in general, of course, because there is a picture of perfect people there, but it's only like a picture, it's
Mm-hmm.
not true. And of course, mostly children want to be very similar to
Mm-hmm.
these pictures. It's not true, it's only image or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason why children have a problem with self-harming, for example.
Yeah,
because have a problem with their bodies, and they don't like themselves. It's sad.
exactly. Hmm. Yeah, you're completely right. I get it. Wow. Okay, thank you for your tips. These were nice. Good job. Okay, Petya, next question. Have you ever experienced anything worth mentioning as far as doing your job is concerned?
Hmm.
Any interesting experience?
Interesting. uh, yeah, I have experienced uh, very interesting things. Many things. For example, one woman said to her son, he was adopted in front of me, and he didn't know it, and it was terrible experience for me because I cannot explain. It was
Hmm.
terrible because he was about maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 years old,
Yeah.
and he didn't know it. Uh, yeah, it was terrible, and I experienced why one suicide attempt, for example. It is many years ago, and when I had a practice at crisis center, one woman who wanted to commit suicide every week. It was terrible because it was like a manipulation.
Hmm.
Because we were talking with her about their problems, and she was struggling with ending to this conversation. She wanted to continue, and it was the problem. And when we said that it would be only 5 minutes, 5 minutes left, she started to she started to manipulate us, and she wanted to commit suicide every week and every week, and we had to call emergency every week, and it was very unpleasant for us, but
Hmm.
it is necessary to call emergency or police or something. And for
Exactly.
example, I experienced suicide attempt last week. One children one child wanted to jump out from the window at the elementary school,
Hmm.
and I didn't see it, but I was talking with výchovný poradce.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was terrible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is also life, and it's good that you are sharing this with us because we can definitely understand how hard your job is. Okay, thanks. Last question. Do you
Mm.
have any professional goal?
Mm. Yeah, many. I would like to do, because I do webinars now, and I would like to run my own business and to do something like um, courses, education for teaching stuff, or how to say it. Yeah, like a courses for teachers.
Hmm.
And I would like to publish my own book, because one woman from a publishing house sent me an email last week, and she wanted me to write my own book about self-harming, and I answered yes, because this is my dream, like to write my own book. I like writing,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I will see, but yeah, this is my goal, and but maybe more important is to run my own business as far as courses is concerned. and I have a plan. I would like to do it with my friend, and now we are created like a web page,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe next year we can start. We will see.
Wow, this is awesome. And also congratulations on the book because this is I think a success, definitely. Definitely.
Mm,
Do you like writing? Is writing easy for you?
mm, Not easy, but I like it. I like it. It's my favorite activity, but it's not like effortless. I think that I don't write very fast,
Yeah.
and it can be it can be problem, but but I like it. It's a like a yeah, I have to admit that it's an entertainment for me, like to write
Mm-hmm.
something,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not so easy.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Okay.
I am very slow.
Okay. Perfect. Do you have an idea about the name of your future book?
No, no, no. I don't, because I I am I think about it maybe 1 week. It's uh, it's like a news. It's new for me, and
Exactly.
I don't know. I know nothing. I don't know. I know what the main topic will be about self harming. I'm sure about it, but nothing else.
Okay, okay. Okay, Petya, and I have got a very last question which is not written here, but it doesn't matter. Do you have any tip that you would like to share with our listeners who are parents, who have kids at home, children, and they would like to help them or just be sure that they do the best for them? Is there any one thing that you would like to say?
Like, do you mean for parents?
Yeah,
Could you say something, uh, and to tell?
motivational or
Sorry.
something intelligent for them to bring from this video, to take it and to maybe
Mm,
try
I
to use it.
I don't know if it will be clever, but I have to say, and it's a very big true. I think that uh, everybody make mistakes,
Mm-hmm,
and I think that like a perfect parent doesn't exist,
mm-hmm,
and it's like a normal, and I think that it's a like a uh, it's a very naturally, and it's a good to do to make mistakes,
mm-hmm.
uh, as far as like uh, upbringing is concerned as well. It's
Yes,
the same, and
yes,
don't worry, everybody make mistakes.
this is true. This is always good to remember that mistakes are fine and normal. Thank
Mm.
you, Petya. Your speaking was awesome. I liked it, and you were fluent. And apart from little mistakes, I really enjoyed it a lot. So I hope so did our listeners, and I hope they also loved your speaking. So yeah, if you have guys any questions or anything you would like to ask Petya about, then after the end of this little stream, you can write something in the comments. And we would like to say our bye to you and see you next time. So goodbye, everyone. And thank you, Petya.
Uh-huh.
Bye
Okay.
bye.